Welcome, everyone. I hope your day or your evening has been amazing, and it's been a long 7 days. How are you all? We're sending love from here to everyone, and welcome to the Q&A. Is there anybody that would like to join in first? And if you do so, raise your hand or unmute your microphone now, and then we get started. Just let a few more in. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Good day. Helen, is there anything you would like to say today, Sister Helen? And welcome, and it's a pleasure to see you.
Good day to you, Brother Josh. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good today. Yeah, lots of detox going on still. A lot of symptoms and kind of pain coming out actually, kind of particularly along the small intestine, large intestine, and stomach meridians. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of juicing this week.
Okay. How have you been eating previous to this? Have you been raw food?
Yeah, raw. I've had cooked once a week, just a bit of potato. Yeah. So it feels like just kind of just more stuff coming up, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not related to any food you've been having. Have you been? Is it constant, or are you feeling it just fluctuate throughout the day, or?
No, it's been kind of building up, really.
Have you
I
been
don't know. I
eating
mean, I'm
things
having
like cabbages and hard vegetables? No?
had a little bit of red cabbage and a little bit of carrots, but not much really. Mainly vegetable fruit. Probably quite a few tomatoes.
It's probably just a cycling of the detox symptoms that's coming on. But just be aware of what you are consuming, and you'll see that if you consume too much of one thing, like after doing the fasting, like cabbage and things like that, you'll see that it does cause a lot of discomfort if you have it quite regular.
Yeah, it feels. Sorry.
That's what I just say. It's one of the pleasures of a detox is going through these symptoms.
Absolutely, and when I think I've been eating for like 52 years now, a lot of the wrong things, and it's going to take. I completely accept it's going to take a little bit of time for the system to clear, and for me, food's been really important to push down emotions. So I feel that it's on many levels, the kind of cleansing. So yeah, it feels fine. It feels fine. It feels like what I'd expect when I've detoxed off like coffee and tea. That was like really acute and short term, but this feels like the more of the chronic kind of release.
As things accumulate within the digestive system through the detox, as they are getting pushed out, you'll find that the system does feel slight flu-like symptoms. So if you're going through sort of feelings like in the bones, sometimes the joints, it feels like mild, but it never actually catches you if you feel that sort of symptoms. But again, as the toxins are moving out the system, they do sometimes build up in certain areas, accumulate, and then you'll pass them, and then freshness comes. And you feel great again.
Yeah. I have faith.
Well, how's your previous 7 days been? Have you had a wonderful strong?
Yeah, it's been good. Again, I would say that the detox symptoms have been quite predominant, and a lot of emotion as well. But yeah, I just feel totally committed to this, and I mean, you just can't go back, can you? Like I said last week, I had a food hangover from eating a bit of potato, and I had some potato yesterday, and I can feel it in my system. So I'm resisting it mentally because I just feel that lure of of beautiful cooked food. It just mentally attracts me, but my body is like, no way.
Good. Good. You just got to
Yeah,
do what's right for you and learn and grow as you go through. And,
yeah,
you know, eh, to master these things does take us a long period of time. And, you know, what I did over the years was every time I was introducing foods back in, I would eat that food particularly on its own for a long time so
yeah,
I could feel each time what it was doing to the system and if it was right.
yeah,
And it's quite easy to tell once you've gone through this process. But you know, once you've gone this way, you rise each time you do these foods, and you know, really there are eating habits or the way that we should eat to the level of consciousness we want to be. So
yeah.
if we are struggling and we're going to work on a 9 to 5 basis, and you don't want to feel trapped in there, then you know, you go to the takeaways and fill up, and you'll forget about it.
No way, no way, no going back. It's really good. It is good. You know, the other thing is that my friends and really nobody I know is on the same journey, and that's quite interesting.
I think
Um,
it builds you, though, you know, because I think as people that seek the truth, there's always a collective friendship group that dissolves naturally because that group there was there to distract you from your true goal, which was within. And
mm,
you know, everybody within those egocentric groups, whether they know it or not, they're all keeping everybody down through the ego mind to stop the expression. So it's good, and this is our journey. I think everybody who has this journey goes through this process, but it's a part of the empowerment that needs to happen through the journey to then build you up even further. So it's magical, really.
yeah, and that is so true.
How are you finding? Sorry, carry on, sister.
No, I was just saying that's so true. That's really resonating.
Yeah. How are you finding the when they come the emotions? How are you finding dealing with them? Have you become stronger at handling, observing, and passing?
Definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That it feels they're not they're not consuming me. They're not. They're just, oh God, here it comes. And I yesterday I felt I was trying to light the fire and it kept going out, which is very symbolic in itself. And then I got really angry, and then I was like, wow, it's just all this anger, and it was like about two
Yeah.
seconds it got me, and then I'm just like, oh wow, and I've just sat feeling it and feeling it rage coming up, and did some the lovely Kriya this morning on releasing old anger, and it just yeah, I'm just 100% committed to that it is processed. This is old, it's not now, and there's just that ego kind of pulls out and says, oh look, these are your friends, they want to look after you, and you're absolutely right that it's not from not of lack of love, but it is totally that kind of drawback to come back to comfort, come back to hot food, come back to your subconscious. It's warm and safe here, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
going. So yeah, it's wonderful,
That's
really.
so you're finding the emotions not holding you anymore as such. They come, but you recognize, and then you just pass. You pass
Yeah.
on them. Yeah.
Then
That's
I
good.
wouldn't say
So for instance, before
yeah.
you would be angry. You go ahead, sister.
No, carry on. Yeah.
I was to say previously you'd find yourself being angry for a longer period of time than you are at this present moment. For instance, yeah, that's definitely the most important thing to be doing at this time is just recognizing that, but allowing it and never judge yourself for having the anger arise, because again, that's going to judge you in the mind, and then you're going to start having a thought process. But just know that you come so far, even just to be able to stop within a couple of minutes those feelings. Before you know it, you won't have any, and then you'll be looking back,
That's
realizing
fine.
how far you've come. It's
I
amazing.
look forward to that.
Good
What I've
spiritual.
noticed, yeah, what I've noticed is I have all these little flashes of the past, um, like little
Uh-huh.
flashes of innocence in the past, and it really feels like I'm like, oh, I'm just going there to release that. There's like a little flash of nothing particularly, just situations, and just see them, and then
Yeah.
it feels like that there was anger there and it's gone. There's anger there and it's gone. You know, it feels
The mind
definitely,
is
yeah,
incredible, isn't it?
yeah,
It holds on to everything, and really you have the capacity to go within inside yourself and reprogram all of these things that have happened. That's what you're doing right now, and so you're recognizing the parts of the subconscious mind that hasn't actually worked itself out, but they lay deep, and as they arise, you just let them go, and
mm,
that's what you keep doing until there's nothing left. And it's a wonderful space when you find that.
mm.
So good. Oh. But yeah, what's on for the coming 7 days? Have you got any food plans, or how are you
Yeah.
gonna take this strong?
I'm doing juice today, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm gonna attempt again to do 2 water days, and then
Oh wow, okay.
go back to juice for a couple of days, just to see again. It's kind of cold here, but um,
Yeah.
it feels right. So just kind of with this to help this detox along and to really feel into how I feel about the salads and things and how, because I've been eating salad for tea and just to kind of see where that's at. Just like you say, it's like I've really zoned off nuts now. They seem to have moved out. So just, yeah,
Cool. That's,
yeah.
yeah. Grow with it. That's amazing to hear. So yeah, I'm glad that you're doing all of these things, because this is going to build you up to know every type of food and how they are with your system, which is wonderful.
Mm,
Enjoy it very much, and we love you, and thank you so much for being here with us and coming on and sharing.
okay.
Stay strong,
Yeah, lots of
present,
love.
and keep doing what you do.
Love
uh,
for everyone.
is there anything else you'd like to say, or is that
No,
everything
I
possibly at this
didn't have
time?
any questions at all, so it's lovely to talk to you. It's really lovely. Love to everybody.
Well, thank you so much, and it's great to see you again.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, sister. Right. Driti, welcome, sister. I see that your hand was up, but it is down. But would you like to say
Oh,
hello?
was it? I didn't know it was up.
Up.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't up.
I don't
Maybe I
think
messed up.
wasn't intent. It wasn't knowingly like up. But no, I haven't. It was interesting to listen to Helen, um, because it's like I had got to a place where the emotions would come and go and all of that, and it's been really interesting the last 7 days because hearing the questions you asked Helen, I was reflecting to my last 7 days and thinking, and it's been interesting because I've been struggling with my emotions again,
Uh-huh.
whereas I had found peace. And it's like, and it's interesting though, because there was a real strong resistance to juice. Like all of January, I just didn't want it. It was like there was a part of me was like, I'm not doing juice. I'm just
Okay.
not doing it again. And I was like, what is going on? And then I'm really proud of myself because in this last week, I reintroduced juice. I was like, we're going to park you, we're going to do juice, and we're going to see what's going to happen. And so I've actually reintroduced juice. And it sounds crazy because I did 22 days before, but like it feels like, yes, we've got juice back in the game now. Even though I wasn't having cooked food, it was like smoothies. My being was like, do smoothies, no juice. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Reintroduced juice, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And I plan to do, I haven't done just juice. So I'm planning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days of just juice because now juice has been in like, 1 meal, 2 meals of the day this week, which is
Yeah.
great.
Good.
Next week is 3 days of juice, and then I'm going to go for the water again. It's like,
Okay.
I feel like this week made me feel like I remembered how I'd prepared in November for the
Mm-hmm.
December.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like I needed a bit of space for that. So I was like, okay, if you can do juice for 1 meal and not 3 meals, it's okay. Do it for 1 meal, do it for 2 meals, just kind of allow yourself to be with it rather than, got to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and somehow, yeah, I'm juicing again. Like this morning, I did apple and pear,
Nice.
and I've just had like some cucumber courgettini with some avocado for lunch, and I will juice again this evening. So, and
Yeah.
it's like it feels I'm more back into. It sounds crazy, but juice is in the flow again. But it's just how it is.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
How's the digestive system? How is it feeling all down here? Is it all
yeah.
settled?
Digestive system is good. It's I just noticed when I brought the juice in again, it just started to gurgle a bit more,
Uh-huh.
and I was definitely clearing more, though I was still clearing even before, but just kind of clearing more and more kind of runny because there's
Yeah.
more kind of fluid in the system, which is fine. Oh, other thing I also realized was that I wasn't drinking. I don't know why this week I noticed it with the juice, but I realized that I wasn't drinking as much water as I had been. And I
Yeah.
don't, and so,
Previously to this 7 days, or
yeah, I just don't know why. I noticed it in the last 7 days that I hadn't been before the 7 days, before the last week. And so now I have like a bottle of water with me wherever I am because I'm realizing that
yeah,
I think I might feel like I need to eat something or I haven't got energy, but actually, if I do the water again, I'm fine. I don't actually need a juice, another juice, or an apple or cucumber. I can just drink water. And sometimes I'm drinking a whole bottle of water and didn't realize how thirsty my being was. It's just, yeah, I don't know what happened in January, but something happened. And it's like, so yeah.
do you notice that when you eat or consume foods like did you say you were not consuming cooked foods?
I had like soup. I did have a couple of things where I went and bought crisps that happened,
Mm-hmm.
but not like every day. I'd say like once a week or something like that. But I was having some soup. I was doing the peas, the petit pois. But the thing that
Uh-huh.
happened in January
Uh-huh.
was I ate a lot of potato. And I told myself I'm never going back to a potato again because I just went down with it. I don't know. I mean, when Brother John spoke of it, I was like, oh my gosh, but I couldn't stop the potato. It was like, and then I realized I'm addicted to potato. And then I was like, and so I had lentils as well in January a few times, but not again, not every day. But
Mm-hmm.
I realized I have to abstain from potatoes. I don't know what it is about potatoes. I don't know if anyone else feels it, but it's just like it's the worst thing after the juice. It's like it takes you backwards.
Yeah. It pulls you because it pulls you straight back into that space, doesn't it, where you want to just eat cooked food again.
I
But
just, yeah, I started to eat potato every night. That potato pancake thing every night, and I was like, this is, and I couldn't stop it.
then you know how it makes you feel after the end of it, you see, which is the good thing.
Yes.
But I will say, the potato itself, I would say for my own system that it sits far better than things like the lentils and the chickpeas and the quinoa and all these other types of things. And then again, the best would obviously be the squash if you were going to consume something with that sort of texture. But yeah, potatoes sit a lot better than those other things. So if you tried lentils maybe after a fast a couple of times, you'd see that they're kind of toxic. They really do make you feel like acidic, and
Mm.
they bring it into the lymphatic system straight away, and you start to get temporal pain, tonsils. You feel them a certain way, and also brought down the acidity. So
Mm.
it's good, and I'm glad to see that you're going to be doing a little juice fast again.
Yeah,
That'll
and
make you
then
feel light and fluffy, and it'll remind you
yeah,
why.
and then I want to do the water again because it's like my lower abdomen, though it's gone back to being even. I can feel compared to the rest of my my body now, it kind of sticks out.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that's why I wanted to introduce juice, so then I can do a juice fast, so then I can do the water to really see what the next layer of flushing is gonna be.
Yeah, naturally they would have just grabbed onto something to try and survive if you were putting in foods that could make that survive. And then now they're obviously lying flatter, and they're gonna continue to be continue to die off and not exist inside the system. And that's what you have to do. You know, naturally we have to be ready for these fasts and these journeys. So just let it cycle within you, you know, and your body will do the rest, and you will be on your journey to 100% recovery. It's all inside of you, and everything aligns perfect. So, you know, you have the strength, we know that, and just keep on doing everything you do. And with the thoughts, you know what you're doing, you know, just recognize them, accept them. They come, they go. They try to control you every single time that you allow a thought to just manifest. But really the true thing is, you know, there is no thinking going on inside the divinity within you. And when you're in that space, you know everything.
It's interesting to observe how one was, and then how one dipped, and then how one's coming back. It's kind of quite interesting to watch the up and the down, and to be in the down and not be able to quite come up, though you know you were up. It's like it's another thing to kind of notice, and to try and be accepting of it is actually another, you know, not to be judging of myself of like where I was and where I am, and just kind of allow myself to be where I am. It's a journey for sure.
And I think the judging, you know, it does come into play when you have a lack of action sometimes. So, you know, the consciousness will say, you know, you need to be doing a little bit of juice here. You'll hear it, and then maybe it'll just pass a few days, and then you start to feel this subtle vibrational lowering of your field, you know, and then you don't action it, and then it just keeps on creeping in. And before you know it, you kind of feel a little bit depressed, and you don't know why you feel depressed, but really all you needed to do was take the small actions that were there from the heightened energy field, and then it just opens up again, and then you continue to grow, which is obviously what's happening now.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I agree with you 100%. I get it, and it's just now I can smile and laugh at what was happening, but in it happening, it was not nice.
End of the world.
Well, it's just, yeah, I had moments of feeling like, oh, you know, I was so good. Where's it gone? But you're absolutely right. It's like I knew I had to juice. The apples were there. They'd been cleaned. They'd been washed. They were waiting. And I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it now though, and that's a good thing.
And the liberation of these emotions, do they just free?
Now it's really interesting. I mean, and I know it's like, because the vibration is higher, it's easier to deal with, and it wasn't before because the vibration wasn't high. It's like now in the last week, it's much easier to deal with the emotions, because I think because I introduced more juice, and I haven't eaten anything, like I haven't eaten any potato of any kind in the last week, you know. And so yeah, this last week it's been much easier to deal with the stuff that's it's actually been easier to abstain from looking at things that I know are not going to make me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, whereas, and it's probably because I'm, you know, my vibration is higher, because what I'm putting in my body is better.
And also the fact that you've liberated yourself from the thought and the judgment by the actions that you've taken. And that's key. That's kind of where we're going this month, you see, because even these smallest actions is your karma, and this is your karmic debt, but you have this vibration that you, let's say, project from the intellect side, and then to action those and bring you into these spiritual sides. But if you have this deep knowingness of what you should be doing and you're not doing it, this is when you feel the wrath of the sin, you know, and it goes within the whole pain body system, and this starts with a dull vibration in the forehead, and then it starts to course the system, and then it starts to feel depressive and lack of motion. And really all that's happened is there's something that's deep within your knowingness that you need to be doing, which comes from that diligent side. And then once you action the diligence, you get yourself into the position you need to be in to then further your journey as the Solomon or the temple that you need to build with your own internal workings. And it's just everything. So if you ever feel blocked, sometimes the blocks make you not want to do anything. They want you to sit down and just dwell in that deep sorrow for yourself. But just do the opposite, and you'll see that everything changes, opens up again, and everything aligns for your future to be perfect in a higher vibration. It's a wonderful thing to see. It is.
Yeah, it's also it's I mean, the thing that really got me this week to do the juice also was remembering how I felt at the end of towards the end of December, with the clarity of my mind, the ease of dealing with the emotions, the flow that I felt, the just the peace. And I was just like, Dhruti, you did that, you got there, you'd never been so clear and still in your mind ever that you can recall. You can do this again. It's worth it. Just remember how that felt. And I think that's the thing that gave me a bit of a kick up the backside too.
Absolutely. You see, when you truly experience this and go back and forward and you see how food really truly affects the mind, there's definite systems to eat for different levels of awareness.
Yeah.
And some people can't eat a certain way because it's too much for them. And as you do this, you feel it. And if this is set for where you want to be, then you notice that the foods that you consume are really going to be sort of balanced with the consciousness or the feeling in that you have within this web of consciousness.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing such a great job, and it's good to see you earn L and learn this whole system of life. And it's just great to see you heal yourself.
Thank you so much for all your support and of the X family as well. It makes all the difference to be able to help, make it easier to help oneself, so thank you so much to you and Michelle and the little one and everybody who's here today as well. Thank you.
On the website we will have like the different catered food habits for people in certain environments as well, so that might help people listening, because it is something that you have to really understand the way that you should eat to the way that you're being at that particular time, because sometimes being high vibrational in a world of let's say a fiat world or a world of falsity and persona and characters is very difficult to deal with. So we'll have all that information, and then everybody can try different set diets and really notice how they do feel, which is obviously what's going on with you naturally anyway. And we do this, so we love you, sister. Thank you so much for being a part of this and your love, your support, and I look forward to continuing the journey with you, sister.
Thank you, and love to you and to everyone as well. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day and be strongly strong. If you need us, we're here for you.
Great. Thank you. I will. I am.
Keep up the good work, sister. Okay, Sister Sandy, it's been a while. Lovely to see you. How are you today?
I'm warming up by my infrared brooder lamp.
Warming you up?
3 degrees out here this morning in Ohio, and I just got in from clearing some snow. So both of my boys are in Florida this week, so I thought they picked a good week to be gone. It's supposed to be like record lows in the single digits. So I've been doing good.
Wow.
Learning and growing, and thank you for posting the Q&A from last week. I wasn't able to make it. We really got dumped on with wet, heavy snow, so I was busy shoveling last Sunday. Anyway, I really appreciate the group and having a community to connect with. And it's like I come for my endorphins, my motivation, and it just helps me stay on the straight and narrow. And then hearing everybody else's journey too. So it's life where I'm at right now has just been distracting and busy, and so I kind of like others have mentioned, got sucked into the potato thing over Christmas time, which we had our gathering in January. And it's been so cold here that the warm the warm potato and mash up a couple avocados in there, it's, it's very satisfying. And I never got any ill effect from eating the potato, but um, I bought extra oranges to juice and freeze for winter time. So I've been working on some of that. And then I had all these frozen things in my freezer that I'm, getting away from, but it's like, this veggie chili with sweet potatoes, that sounds really good. So I would thaw it out, and kale that I had frozen from my garden, cooked and frozen. And so I've been enjoying some warm food, and that's just where I am right now, and it's fine. I don't judge it necessarily. So, and with the yoga,
That's the key.
I'm up to, I think, I'm about halfway up through the list that I do each day. I've been the way my brain is wired, it's like watch and listen and read, and I've not done yoga before. So, but the first 12 steps I've got down now, where I can do it without referring back to the video or the reading, each step. So it's coming, and we're on a journey. And I do have a question. I was cleaning out my copper still the other day, and well, I think it was Judy that mentioned she had a gas stove with her copper still, and she felt like she needed to be there all the time. I had kind of known that mine takes about 4 hours on a gas stovetop that I had bought, propane. And so I knew I needed to get back in there, and well, something got distracted and I didn't, and it boiled dry. And so I got this black stuff in there till I got back, and I was trying to clean out the neck. It was flavoring my water. I needed to get it back clean down to the copper. And so I've tried several things, but I had some copper wire mesh that I was shoving down in the curve at the top of the ball where it goes into the neck, the condensing neck at the top of the copper pot, the lid. Anyway, I was swirling that wire, copper wire mesh down in there trying to get it, and I sliced my finger. There was a little rough edge of copper sticking up there. And I just thought, I wonder Josh, how you would heal up a cut really quick. If there's some lotion, or I've got what?
Sorry, there's a big delay. You carry on, sister. I thought you'd finished.
Oh, well, no, I use like a calendula salve, but it's got lanolin and some other things in it. I didn't know if you have like a salve that you use or recommend for like a cut or something topical.
If if the cut has gone quite deep and you may think there's something inside of it, I'd always wash it with like a bicarb or salt solution. Honey is a good protector as well. So if you have access to some honey and you cover it because of its natural antibiotic properties, it will seal the wound, and then you would just dress it or cover it. If it's small, I like to leave things just to nature. But again, a nice little barrier, if you were to apply it a few times a day, coconut oil is something that would be like less of a stronger barrier or have less strength than honey does. But the honey itself, I think if you've got a cut, is going to be very good. It's similar to blood. So it has great properties. And I think truly that's what it was used for in the ancient times, rather than as a particular food source, I would say. It has great medicinal properties on the outside of external cuts and healing wounds, especially burns as well. If someone's got a really bad burn, honey will heal it up in a very quick format, saving any bacterial growth as well. If someone's had a snake bite or a spider bite, it would be to use garlic or onion and bash that together, cover the wound as quick as you can, and then that helps draw the poison out. And this has been used by indigenous tribes for a long time. And I would say that's the true use of garlic and onion, really. I know that people like to consume it, but it's very toxic, both of them, to our system.
Yeah,
Negative.
when my children were growing up, if they would get an earache or something, I would bake an onion in the oven and put it in a sock, a cotton or linen sock, and put that warm baked onion on their ear, and it was very soothing and comforting, and probably drew the toxins out, like you said. So
Yeah. No, that's it.
um,
Is that a tale that's been around for a while, or was that just your family thing? Or
no, it's
yeah,
in some herbal books and things. Yeah.
yeah. It definitely works. The quicker you can get to the bite, it's profound. It can actually stop everything from actually going into the system. So it's good to know: bee stings, wasp stings, bites, things like this.
Very good. So
Yeah.
on the spiritual side, I was raised in a fellowship that took the King James version of the Bible literally. It's
Okay.
impossible to take everything literal. And I never really understood. I thought, who is King James? Why do they idolize that version of the Bible? And like nothing else was acceptable. So I had a lot of questions growing up. And so really, a lot of people think that Jesus died for their sins. He did it all. There's nothing you need to do but believe on Jesus. And I've always felt like Jesus showed us a way, but it's up to us individually to work out our own soul salvation, that we all need to have our hanging on the cross experience and all do our own work. So, I mean, Jesus, I view as a great role model, a great teacher, but as my savior, I'm just I've always thought that we needed to work out, each individually do our own work. I'm just curious, your thoughts on Jesus, the King James version. I'm really looking forward to your website and the words, and so that's all I have for today. We can talk.
Content again. I really want to get the etymology out, and I want to do a lot of things so people can just get some clarity of it, because it helps you in every way, whether it's law, just normal life, or revealing what the true word means, which again, it's such a secret to have. I would say King James Bible, or the King James, is no different than King Solomon. It's just a made up entity there. But the King James Bible itself was written as more of the book of the law in the modern day world. So the King James Bible is referred to and can be your tool to understand the realm of commerce, pirates, and how to free yourself from that aspect. Jesus to me was just a guru, somebody at that particular time who had enlightened himself with the consciousness of Christ. Christ is not Jesus. Jesus Christ is a man as Christ, which is the elevation of his consciousness. So 100% I would say you're right. Jesus, if Jesus was real, which I'm pretty sure Jesus was real, and his legacies lived on, and the teachings that he had, the teachings of all ages, and every man has the capacity within inside of them, woman, man, to be able to enlighten themselves through taking actions of the great work. And the great work is not easy. It's not easy to want to embark. It's not easy to even catch the wavelength, to be able to have the perception to keep going forward and moving with it. So if you separate Jesus, you separate Christ, and you separate King James, I would definitely say that James has never been a king. But if you break it down into the words, you see Jah, you see me, and you see sine wave, and you see the me is the mother's ether with the S of the sine wave. J could be the net, and A is the alpha. So it's basically saying the net of the alpha moving towards the ether sine wave, and then king is K and G, which is the balance in G, which G is the realm. And then the Bible is the two balls, which are these two balls of this magnetic energy, to be able to transfer or transform your system working on the electrical wave to this magnetic energy, which we all have the capacity to do, rather than life just being discharged in an electrical way. So this full torus field is not in a reciprocating manner. Moving forward to the mother, the magnetic side, and doing that work will actually create this torus energy to reciprocate and extend life, and also bring in this new level of awareness or consciousness, which is fast, it's magnetic, and it's free, it's constantly pulsing. And again, with this electrical charge, it's just discharged. It doesn't reciprocate, and it's wasteful. And it's just a lower energy for our system, the alpha wave. Is there any counter questions you'd like to ask?
Now that's it for today. I just, I ditto the words of Dridi, God bless you for taking the journey and sharing your journey with us and teaching us. So, and your family, Michelle and little X. So thank you very much. Appreciate all you do.
I do look forward to delving deeper with everyone as well. And just right now, it's just going through these motions until that website's prepared, and then we have time to bring really great content to you guys and to everyone, because there's so many things out there that we'd love to share. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So until then, we love you very much. Thank you for your support. Have a great day, and it's really good to see you again.
Thank you, Josh. You too.
Take care, sister. Is there anybody that would like to ask a question at this present time? I will go to Les. Good day, Les. Welcome, sister. It's lovely to see you.
Good day, Josh, brother. I'd like to know how you're doing. How's it going in your side, and how's your journey with the family and the search for land, and how you all managing?
We're doing good. It's just a little bit harder working in a small van with everything. It's a big van, but it's still a small space. We try to live outside as much as we can in nature while we're doing things, and use the van more of a sleeping space or a space to go and eat. But it's been quite cold for Portugal and a little bit rainy over the last few days. Apart from that, we're always wonderful and we're always happy. Little man's always singing, dancing around. His first song on the rise, I love my mum and dad. That's his first song. And he holds us together, pulls us in, and gives us so much love. It's incredible to see. He's full of love. So yeah, we just love every moment. For now, we are probably heading to check out a few spaces in Spain over the next 7 days. We're just waiting on a package to arrive here at this campsite, and then we've got a few places to look at and to see, to feel the soil, to test, and then just continue and let things align. We've been also looking at land, say in India, land in Bali, and all these other spaces. And if one's looking to travel, I'd say that there are actually, they try and get you to want to have this COVID test where they stick things up your nose, but you can avoid it. You can get something called an exemption form. All you need to do is just speak to the right departments and just express that it's not a part of your belief system that you let someone else take something from you. And then you can move to and from these spaces. So it is possible at this particular time to travel anywhere in the world. But there are a select few airways that want you to have this test before you enter the airways, and it's usually just one big company. So if anybody is looking to travel, you can travel without having these tests. So never fear. There's always a way if the will is there. And I have been and will be speaking to different departments. I've got the Department of Transport's the director of it, and I'm speaking to him in the next few days, just to find a way that we can all travel to and from places with ease. And then as we progress as well, building up these trusts, we'll be having our trust setting up soon. So that's going to help a lot of people. And as we build it, we'll help people build it as well, so people can build their own trust if they wish to. So I know that's going to help a few people. Because it's very simple when you get your head around it. Everything that you are doing is through your strawman, and the trusts are with the government. You just need to set your own trust up and register a limited company and do everything through the limited company, which is then going to allow you to be free from your strawman, and then you just be the beneficiary of everything that goes under that bracket. So yeah, hopefully soon we'll be able to bring that into fruition for us all to utilize, to use, and then to travel free without hindrance is going to be wonderful anywhere in the realm.
Oh, wow. You're a genius, honestly, you really are. And I'm guessing as well that we will be able to use the same kind of documentation for the vaccine, that we don't want interference in our bodies and all of that.
Yeah, of course, the highest power is God, and this is why law is so it can be so empowering. Obviously, a lot of people fall trapped to this belief system, but it's fine for people to believe what they want to believe. Police officers, they believe they have this power, and it's absolutely fine. You just got to forgive them for their trespasses among you. At the end of the day, whether or not you have the power to dispel them at that interaction with the policy enforcer, then you go to the next level, which would be back to the station or the static ions. And then in that situation, you get another chance to deal with this paperwork as such. And remember, the paperwork is the penal system, and it's all pen. So at that particular time, you just don't need to even say anything, and you refuse to even contract with the name, and it doesn't go any further. But again, if it does go further, then you get the court systems to deal with, and again, you get another chance to express yourself. The highest power is not identifying with the person, and that person is the name. So you are here and now, and you cannot be labeled, and that will always save you. If you go into the realms of wanting to play around with the court system, you need to appoint the judge as a trustee of the account, and the judge is actually then your strawman, and then offsets accounts and stuff. But this goes into a deep understanding as such. But it's all basic, it's all simple. Everybody has the beliefs out there. They built the whole system on beliefs. It's one big giant Lego movie. People go to work because they believe they need to, and if we just keep this strictly to law, that is full belief. There's no facts. The whole system is belief. So if you maintain the fact that you are a woman of God, you don't need to worry about anything. People can have their illusions. If they present themselves in a certain way to you, you just have to, understand at that particular moment there's a man or a woman opposite you who's creating quite levels of high conflict. Just go with the flow, let it lead you into a a way, and then you'll see the way out. Just always maintain that faith. You are here and now, not a name.
Yeah. Josh, about that, could you explain the straw man in layman's terms? Just explain it exactly.
Yeah. So the strawman is your birth certificate identification.
Okay.
That was created and signed over into the trust of the Crown government system to allow you to do commerce or commercial trading as an individual banker yourself. So it has its benefits. But the way that the system has been done, by the time that you're 7, let's say your class is lost at sea. So when the 1666 SQV Act was put into play, this basically made everybody sign documents to then be in this system that has a system of maritime law, which is related to the water. And then if you just look at, I'm cross-referencing here, and I hope it's just making connections, because I know most people have a similar understanding of the law. But you see that, you know, pirates, we've been given these movies of pirates, and they have this skull and crossbones, but this relates back down into the system. They've hijacked the land and they call it the sea. And then they've created a basically trust system with you through the family of ignorance. And now you're in a world of water and not on land, and everything is commerce. And until you separate yourself from that commercial zone, you're basically creating contracts every single day unknowingly with your own beingness and that birth certificate. So the strawman is essentially a business. It's a logo, it is an entity for trade. It's not you. It's no different than a shop. The title, it's no different than one of these major corporations out there. You just don't know how to deal with your own businesses. So we haven't got to the capacity of having all of this financial wealth. But it's coming to an end as such, you know, and right now, with the level of consciousness that people have and the awareness of how the system is, I think there's going to be some great breakthroughs. And then, you know, being left with that capacity to understand that you're a private banker and you can deal with your own account, you can literally have anything and just discharge that debt. The strawman, again, was always written in block capitals, and the capital letters come from the capital city, and that's the capital. And that's why they're written on the gravestones in capitals, because it's all corporate or dead fiction. If that makes sense. Is that too simplified? Would you like more? Or?
No, that's great for me at this stage. Thank you. And I think that also links in with why John was saying, you know, start with patenting your name.
Yeah.
Just patent your name, you know.
Yeah. And nobody can copyright, well, the copyright there, you know, nobody can actually use your name without your permission if they do, but then that means you having to go through the realms of going to let's say the Chancery Court or the Trust and Equity Court and dealing with them on that way. Does take your mind away from the truth. The easiest, highest truth of the law is to know that you're a woman and you're a man, and nothing can actually affect you in that way. But if you want to engage in commerce and you want to buy these things, then it's good to have that interaction. When you buy something, 99% of the time you're registering it, whether it's a house or a car, these types of things. That's the wrong way to do business, you know, well, or the wrong way to do life as a being of God. You know, the land's free and it can be occupied by a being of God without any contracts, without any name, without any address. There's no possibility of the system even being in contact with you, which is key to know as well. So I guess it's just a shift that's going to be happening with people over the next few years, because this awareness is just finding itself in consciousness. And we'll start seeing little groups and communities pop up all over the world that are doing these things. It's going to be wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, my life has changed so radically since November. I can't even explain. I've got a whole new tribe. I've got a whole new family. I've got a whole new way of being in the world. So I just want to say thank you so much, because a lot of it really is down to just leaving the animals and taking up the juice, you know. And sure. I wanted to ask as well, about the difference between eating the fruit and juicing the fruit. Are you there, Joe?
I am indeed.
So like, you know, so I'm kind of having 2 meals a day juice, and then one I'll have avocado, tomato, cucumber and stuff, and occasionally I'll have my potato. But is there a difference between having the juice and straining it and say eating 8 or 10 nectarines?
Yeah and no, depending on what you're trying to do as such, but really the juice is just allowing the body to rest. So it's fasting. It's the digestive system, the navel point of the body. This is where your second brain is and the prana is stored. And constant digestion does take the toll on the body. So it would literally be, if you're eating the finest fruits with a clean body, that's going to go straight through your system. It's going to be a wonderful way to enjoy eating and life. But again, as you progress the journey, you'll see that if you do even move forward from the juice fasting to the water fasting, there's a deeper connection to your spiritual nature because of it. Everything has the information, everything has memory, whether it's a fruit, water, or even a computer. But that memory that's going into the system, it's not allowing that. Well, it is, but it's also harder for you to find that space with this non-judgment, non-thought, and a divine connection in its pure state. Because eating again is material, and to have this, not necessarily a lust for food, but to have a desire for food, it's just not giving you that the highest of highs with the connection. If you see like a pyramid for food, first of all it starts with the meat, the dairy at the bottom, and then it starts to move to the cooked holistic food, then the raw foods, then the fruits, then the juice fasting, then the water, and then air. And then like the breatharianism as such, it's a real capability that we have. And to be in that state and to even give it a go, you'll notice that you can sit for like 10, 11 days with nothing, just in a state of meditation, playing with consciousness. As consciousness, is just one big play, and this really separates people from the knowing of what God is, how life is truly working in its basic mechanics, to then just having this semi-belief of a spiritual world, feeling great within the body and just enjoying the material life. So if someone's really looking to, experience, let's say, God, it's good to keep progressing, just to touch it, just to have a touch with that experience. That people find this experience with ayahuasca as such, or these psychedelic drugs, but it's something doing it with them, and there's something doing it within your own system, and then you learn to control it, and then you can become a master of it, and then you can visit these spaces at any given time. And this is why when you see a lot of the people that have these heightened experiences and perception, they live behind the eyes, because that's the true space. You shut your eyes and the world doesn't exist anymore, and you're one with consciousness, if that makes any sense.
It makes total sense. I've never had an interest in trying any of those. I just never have been interested in that. I've kind of just done my own sort of thing. I haven't tried any of those. But yeah, I'm interested in moving towards the breatharian, but I'm not there yet. But I aspire to that,
Yeah, just as an experience. It's not something that you would do for the rest of your life, but just to be able to get to or reach a point that you realize you don't need this food, even the water as such. Because our whole life we've been told, I think, I remember being a boy and I was told you can live off water, no water for 4 days and no food for 2 weeks, I think they said.
Yeah.
It's not the case at all, and it's good to go through those motions and to be able to feel it. You know how you feel when do you juice fasting? And to break that boundary of just water fasting for an extended period of time, you feel completely different again. And then to be sat down with no distraction in the state of, let's say meditation, true meditation. This is how you're going to find that space, just by solitary, even though, all these words contain soul,
Mm. I've done quite a lot of solitary in my life, I must say. I've lived in isolation for quite extended periods, but with food. Yeah, I think my later years are not about that. They're about community. I've done isolation, but community, I understand the isolation within community, having your own space and being in your own connection with your higher, soul nature connection. I get that, but I don't want to isolate myself again. I've done a lot of that and I've learned a lot, but it's not for me in this part, I don't think. But if I hadn't done that juice for 23 days and then the 52 hours water, I don't think I'd have a concept of what you were talking about now. So I get it's incremental and I'm aspiring to that. And I'm also just staying with not beating the crap out of myself if I wobble a bit. It's okay. I've come a long way and I'm on this path and I'm doing okay. So it's a bit of a balance for me,
That's the most important thing, is not to even judge yourself in any way, because everything is just happening. If you can be one with what's happening, you are one with creation, It's incredible to me.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm really getting that. So I'm quite proud of myself.
We are too. We are. But we're not proud, because that's pride and that's a sin, but we are very happy for you.
I know you're not supposed to be, but what is the word? I'm happy with myself. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, happy.
I mean, yeah. I had another question. I'm just checking quickly.
That's right.
No, I think we're okay. I had a phone call at 2:22 a.m. one night this week, in the middle of my night, but my son is in Antigua.
Uh-huh.
And there was a medical emergency. A young girl had severed her arm and they needed blood, and she was quite a rare type. She was O negative. And they were looking on the island for people with, he wanted to know what blood type he was because he was trying to get to the hospital to donate. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I said, look, Matt, if it really is an emergency and there isn't that type of blood, you could use coconut water as an emergency situation, because Josh says that, and I'm quite sure of it. And he goes, oh, Mama, honestly, you're always on some, this is too woo-woo for me. I said, well, just tell them at the hospital in case of emergency. I mean, what have you got to lose if she's bleeding out, like he says, and, there isn't O negative blood type? At least try coconut. What can you, can you really, you couldn't do worse. Anyway, the next day he phones me, he says, Mom, I got to hand it to you. I don't know where you got this woo-woo thing from, but he said, yeah, it's true.
Did they use it? Was she okay?
They didn't, but they researched it and they said, yeah, you're right. So they didn't need to, because there were, I think 5 or 6 people who showed up.
Wow.
In the middle of it was 11 o'clock at night there. And they all just showed up at the hospital with A negative blood type. And apparently there's only 7% of the population with that blood type. But they just all arrived. It was the yachting community, and they just all got it together and showed up.
Oh, beautiful.
And she's in a stable condition now. Yeah. So, but
so they're going to start getting coconuts in ready.
yeah. So it's amazing, and it's really enlightening to see how much of nature just supports everything that we could possibly need.
I know.
More and more, like you're talking about the honey. I've had a lot of snake encounters. I've never been bitten, but I have. It is something that I am quite frightened of in Africa, the snakes, big snakes. And gee, that thing about crushing garlic and onion. Wow. I mean, that really is going to be, I mean, that's amazing. You just crush it into a poultice and put it on the bite.
and then cover the womb and then allow it to do the work, to draw
And
the
then you
toxin.
strap the poultice in there.
Yeah,
So it pulls the toxins out.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Because
these
often
things
we
here,
don't have the snake bite venom where, because they just can't keep the venom.
yeah. And the thing is as well, when you start to see, can you imagine if we were all able to actually utilize nature in the capacity that it is there for, within a certain period of time, how humanity would actually be or progress,
Yeah.
to be growing the right things in the right spaces. And there's just, there's trees for homes, everything, even if you're utilizing it in the modern day world and you're building houses similar to what they are, the hemp plant has the hemp, you can make the hempcrete, the whole house can be put up in a day, insulated, it breathes, it's just perfect. And I look forward to these things, and hopefully within these micro communities that we are creating across the world, there's going to be a lot of people that can share experience and have expertise, that these things can just expand quickly with the level of awareness that people have. And it's just going to be so many good things coming out of these spaces. It's going to be a wonderful, next 10 years is going to be wonderful.
This is really exciting. I'm really excited. Thank you so much, because this gnosis, we can just really, what a amazing place to live, time to live. Yeah.
Even this year it's going to be a good one. So don't let the 2021 new coronavirus affect you, because it won't.
No.
No, there's
Thank
going
you,
to be a
Josh.
lot of things playing. Thank you so much, sister. It's lovely to see you so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Thank you for your presence, love and support. Take care. Have a good day. Sister Heidi, I see the hand up. Welcome. Love and light to you. How is Mexico?
It's wonderful, beautiful, having an amazing time. I'm here and I'm actually working with the medicine of Cambo. And I don't know if you're aware of it, and if you are, what are your thoughts around it?
Cambo, is it a plant medicine?
No, it's the Phyla medusa bicolor tree frog.
Oh, okay, so I would know that. Okay, yeah.
And you put the burns on your skin and you apply the secretion from the frog, and it's a really powerful detox that they've used, I guess, in the jungle forever for malaria, but people are being cured from AIDS and, all kinds of different, Lyme's disease. And I'm using it right now for the detox of the mercury from my body and other things that I'm not aware of. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are around this medicine.
Did you have your teeth done?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's great to hear. Okay. Yeah. So I would say that, even venom in small amounts within the system can help certain ways by slow detoxification. But again, as you put in toxins within your system, the body naturally has this detoxifying process from the toxins that's been put in. Because I've never really experienced these things on my own personal journey, I guess I really have nothing to say, because most of the things I share, I really have, well, everything that I share, I've been through and have an understanding of what it is and what it does to me. So I would say, whether or not the detoxification is coming from putting the toxins within inside the system, and then you're feeding the sinuses, help things move forward, like the mucous membrane start breaking down and flowing out of the system, I wouldn't say it would have a positive effect or a negative effect. But just using the intellect, I would say on the spiritual side of things, are you finding any psychedelic effects with it, or is it just mainly for putting into the system for the detox?
Yeah, it doesn't have DMT. There's no psychedelic effects, but I have had visions of the frog and connected in that way. But it's more of a lot of peptides in it. And the white paper studies they've even done on the Cambo are really unknown yet, because it's just hasn't made its way to the Western Society of Science.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So,
See how you feel after, and let us know how you feel, because I can hear. Is it already obviously affecting the sinuses at the moment. Yeah, you can kind of hear it.
Yeah, I've worked with the medicine for a couple of years now. I've actually trained to be a practitioner of the medicine, but
Okay.
I just recently started working with it again. And yeah, I'm going through a lot of detoxing. And when you actually take the medicine, you get very swelled. You actually get what they call frog face. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing it for a few more days. And I have used the medicine before and it's been very successful for me. But I was just curious of your thoughts, but you haven't had the experience. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So how have you been eating up until this point? Have you been pretty clean?
Oh, I've been eating completely raw, clean
Uh-huh.
for 3
Do you
months
notice,
now, you know.
do you know, have you noticed any difference in the the receptiveness of what you're doing right now to the previous time?
Yes, it
Did you
was
get,
much more intense now that I'm
yeah,
super clean.
okay.
Yes. But I'm also working with another medicine here now. And I don't know if you know about this medicine. It's the Bufo alvarius toad from the Sonora Desert. It's the 5-MeO DMT.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm also working with that here. And that has taken me to a whole nother level of I'm still integrating. So I don't really know. But if you know about it, I would love your opinion.
Yeah. Did you say you've had this experience with the 5-MeO DMT already? Or
Yes, all this week I've been working with it.
did you find like ego death easier than you did with ayahuasca?
Yes, I don't feel like I've had the death. I've experienced the first day I had a lot of fear, and I believe that was a part of an ego death. But
Uh-huh.
the last few times I've ingested the medicine, it's been more of like seeing myself and loving myself and just realizing I can stand on my own and standing in my own power. But I really have a passion for being of service and sharing this medicine. And I don't know if I'm on the fence of, is this an attachment or is this really my passion in life and what I feel like it is? And this is what I want to share with mankind.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between like a calling and an attachment, and you know,
Okay.
we each have a calling, but you got to be careful that it doesn't become or is coming from that attachment. Just as you have people that attach themselves to feminism, and then they go to every rally and all of these types of things just because it's feminism and it really has no true standing of who they are. So you just have to be wary of that within your own dimensions of your own mind. If it becomes something from a space that's not organic and it's causing the mind to play itself out, then just do what feels organic and don't let it trap you. So every day is just the presence of now, and if there's something that you feel like you should be doing, then it's your calling. It will just naturally come from your essence. So just be wary of that, because the ego mind, you know if it doesn't be enjoyable anymore, you shouldn't be doing things at any given situation. People come from that ego mind because they want to be helpful, and even helping people is a trap for your awareness if it becomes sort of in that space, because people want to
Well,
help, but they do it from ego to make people
right
like them.
now, right now I'm in the space of it's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. And I feel I have my own work to do within myself first before I can even move to a space of being of service. And I'm very aware of that. And I'm here to learn now and do the work for myself first and let it unfold naturally. And if I still feel the calling, then to follow that.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. And
Have
I would
you
say, if
worked with the medicine of Bufo?
no, I to be honest, I've always just worked internally, produce these things myself. But again, I'm just a very different case, where I just from a young age I've always been interested, and I've just found my way, just because there was something so strong inside of me that didn't want to fit in with normal society ever. I've always done the opposite of what society was doing through my own will, even as a 10-year-old boy. But I don't think there's any harm in it. if people are looking and saying, I want to be spiritual, but I don't want these experiences to take me off it. It's not ever going to take you from it. It's just your own judgment about that situation that's going to take you away from it. But if it controls you and you do it every day for that experience, and it's got a hold of you. So you just need to find perfect balance in everything that you do, and that you'll find peace. And where you'll find with the 5-EMO DMT, if you find that ego death, then I think that'll give you a great insight to what it's actually like, the mechanics of this creation. And usually when you come back from that type of space, that you have a whole new perception on the world, and you interact with it differently, with energy rather than thinkingness or materialism or physicality.
Okay, yeah, that's been the biggest thing is I've experienced is just to stop the thought process. And that's what I feel like it's moving from out of me, is the thought processes are leaving. And I've already felt I'm letting go of things that I was attached to, which one was codependency. And I'm already seeing that that's shifted radically since I've worked with the medicine.
That's a big one. That's strong.
Yes.
And to be able to feel strong and empowered on your own, coming from the space of codependency, that's serious empowerment. And then when you do go back in, if you choose to go back into like a relationship, it has a totally different format, and you respect each other as their own individual journeys or energy fields. And then you're having an experience together rather than these small manipulations that we usually do. It's really black magic. You'll say things that try to create external situations to work for you, and in doing so the other entity knows, but it feels suppressive. So then there just becomes this let's say it turns from being a lightful space to sort of an unwanted suppressive situation. And all we need to do is really truly be honest in any given situation, and that's hard to do for most people because the ego likes to please in any given moment. So once we can overcome these things, life can be amazing with any relationship that you ever experience with everyone and anyone. That's great that you're doing that work, because it's important to be free from that. Really
Okay.
good.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Are you going back to America soon, or are you staying there till?
I don't have a plane ticket to go back. I'm just being present. I'm here training with the medicine and working with the medicine. And I'm so open to wherever and whatever, however it unfolds.
Oh, wow. If you need
Yeah.
anybody in Mexico, or you need to reach out to anybody, I think there's a few people we know in Mexico. So if you get stuck, give us a shout, and we'll always be here to help you if we can.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Wow.
Stay
Thank
receptive
you.
as well. Stay receptive, and I'd like to know if you truly think the medicine is healing. Like if you're feeling the healing happen, now you're more sensitive, or if you feel like it's just causing the sinuses to flare up because of the toxins. I'd like to know that, if you can.
Okay.
Let me know.
For sure. Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure to have you, sister, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too, Josh.
Take care. Brother Austin, I think your hand was up, but if it's not, welcome, and it's lovely to see you.
Hey Josh, thank you for having me. Thanks for doing this. My first question is, there's a lot of people in the XFAM chat that would like to go deeper into the subject of law. And I was wondering if you would be willing, maybe you and Brother John would be willing to do a session regarding that, so we can have some clear action steps to move forward in reclaiming our straw man and, setting up a trust and working in the private.
Like a demo, like a video that people can just follow, or like an interactive live chat where we can sort of pull it apart together?
Yeah, like a Q&A. If we like recorded a Q&A and just, I know I have some basic questions that probably a lot of other people do, and vice versa. So I feel like, that would be very beneficial for our XFAM family. And I know a lot of people are looking for this information.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. These things were going to be put onto our website in a formatted way so people can just have guides and stuff, but it's definitely good to communicate with it because it does open up synchronicities for people who just might not see it until they have this alignment of the truth, and it just, you know, makes everything clear. So yeah, definitely what we'll do then is I will put out a like a post. I'll ask Brother John when he's free, and then we'll align it over the next sort of, I don't know, 4 strong, should we say that? The next 28 days we'll align something to do, and then we can move forward into the chats, maybe have particular subjects, open questions, but particular subjects, maybe one on etymology, one on this, one on magnetism, magic, because magic is real, and it's amazing when you can actually have that sight about how to interact with this multiverse in a magical way.
That would be amazing. That all sounds awesome.
Yeah, we'll do that, definitely.
Thank you.
Carry on.
Oh, the other question I had, I heard you describe once on, I think, a podcast with Charlie, and we were just talking about reality, and I was hoping you could speak into it again. I believe you said it was like a fluid-like picture that we're co-creating, but we're also experiencing scripture play out. And is that because the Bible is just implanted in all of our collective consciousness so much that it has to be expressed in our outer reality too?
So I would say that the consciousness itself here within this duality realm, because that's what we need to understand. We're here on earth for this vast, expansive, progressive awareness. So without this playing out, the Maya, the illusion, what the Kabbalah are doing, all these things here, you wouldn't be able to have that aspect of this duality, and to be able to see and to be able to find your way. So truly, you know, the reality is all subjective to the individual, because perception is what has hold or over your reality. The word reality is the real I tie. So this is tied to your consciousness. And then you go into the word real, and it's REAL, and the EA represent this red and blue shift torus, and R is full magnetism, and L is this circle that you're encapsulated in. So it's just this, the realm of the torus is the real, and then consciousness has been tied to this perception. So I would say, you know, everybody has their own individual world, their own individual dramas that we all play out, and it's based on perception of how they've accumulated their ideas over time. Time itself is no thing, but is something that only happens here. And the goal for us is just to expand. There's nothing more to it. You know, you can go into the depths of absolutely every aspect of consciousness, but it naturally just expresses itself. So there is a purpose here in the realm. This realm is going to continually play itself out to a particular fashion, and that's scripture. And that can be manipulated as such by the beings inside of the realm, but it always needs to be. And this is why I see no purpose in playing with or dealing with the Trump situation or the business world, because truly the business world is always going to go and play on for people that want to play with inside of it, that need to be played. And for the ones that don't, they have the choice of the free world, the free earth. And that's always going to be there to separate us. So whether there's 99.9% of people in the world of commerce, illusory maybe, but they're there with their beliefs, and there might be 1%, but that 1% will still be there for people that need that encapsulation for the growth of awareness. So I would never try to change anything apart from what's going on inside myself. And then inwardly you project outwardly, and you have to succumb truly when you're on this evolution of your consciousness to surrender to everything. And when you surrender, you know that everything is there for you, not against you. It might seem hard outside, but it only seems hard when you think. And if everybody comes from the power of now, they'll see that nobody actually has a problem. The problems only come from thinkingness. So the world is a beautiful space. The earth is a beautiful space. And it's only your perception that causes the problems and the solutions, the freedom and the encapsulation. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that was a beautiful answer. Thank you. And yeah, it is a beautiful reality. It is definitely, all the friction is giving us a lot of motivation to do the work right now. And even I'll be moving to Mexico here soon for a few months, and I'm gonna partake in 6 ayahuasca ceremonies as well. And I'm just really excited to expand and do that. So, Sister Heidi, if you're down there, maybe we can get together at some time. But yeah, I just really appreciate everything you do, and I'm excited to be on this journey over the next however many years to move out of Babylon and move into the land. And yeah, I just appreciate your work, and I'm really looking forward to keep doing the work with you. So thank you.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you, brother. And it's just a matter of time. That's all it is. And right now things are maybe a bit slow in stasis, but these are the foundations, the things that we need to just have as our basic fundamentals, you know, the food system, to know how we feel, to actually understand why we're doing this. Once that's installed in us and we're doing these things for the right reasons, and it's just for the level of awareness that we choose to be at, then we can focus on really breaking down our consciousness, working inside the mind, and then bringing it forward to have this perception. And also this whole journey that we can have is going to be so abundant. I just think this year just needs to sort of just flow with it, grow with it, and come next year, the fruits of our labor will be here for us all to enjoy, to sit back, to progress further without toil.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it.
Have a good day, brother. Thank you so much for being here, your love and support.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can see Justine, brother. Welcome. How are you today, and how has the past 7 days been for you?
Hello, guys. So let's see. I'm gonna set up my phone here, just trying to eat simultaneously as I do this. Okay. Oh, I'm very fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you are.
I have, as usual, a lot of questions. I'm not gonna. I tried to send you a mail, but I know you're busy, so I'm not gonna go into all the training stuff. I'm just, I'm waiting for the website. Hopefully, I will get a lot of answers there. I did have a question regarding. Let me see. Yeah. I'm the type of guy I like to talk about new things I learn. And normally you will get some opposition when it's things that's not quite in the realm of the normal. So when we're talking about the frugivore thing and the chimpanzees and these things, so many will claim, and I've also read it myself in lots of articles, that chimpanzees are talked about as omnivores. I also recognize that, I read many times about frugivores, omnivores, carnivores, and herbivores, but normally the frugivores are not mentioned. Probably a good reason for that, I guess. But I have come to understand that sometimes a chimpanzee will maybe eat another animal. Is it why? Is it for like why?
It's definitely not going to be for any nutritional purposes. I would say that even chimpanzees aren't necessarily in a natural environment, and usually these things would happen, I think, as a dominatory act, rather than for any bloodlust or any value to the actual monkey itself. But it's not common. But these things, they do happen. But I would say it was more of a territorial claim or a war or something going on between the monkeys themselves, and as a show of predatorship or violence expressed, then that would be what it would be. But nutritionally, if you look at the whole species of gorillas or monkeys, naturally they have this, they might be you know, mainly fruit based, but they do have their leaves and other things surrounding them. If they were in a perfect environment, you know, fruit trees everywhere as it should be, and life, you know, life just reciprocating in natural balance, what would they choose? You know, would they choose a leaf or would they choose something sweet? Would you choose a leaf or would you choose something sweet? And I think this is what it comes down to, is being sensible and sensing our senses and utilizing our senses. If something tastes good, then that's what it should be. It should be for you. If it doesn't taste good, you know, in its raw format, it shouldn't be consumed. And that's how I always try to be and to flow with life, because we've been given the program, and if something's sweet, we shouldn't have too much of it. But again, we know that we live in the reverse world, and to reverse, you have to rightfully establish the verse and put everything back how it should be. And as you tear through this this space of the world, you'll see that nothing, not one single thing that we've been told or given to has been true. And this is why it's so important as self-mastery. Confusion, that's what it's for. It's for confusion. And even though monkeys and gorillas and apes are 97% or 98% the same DNA as us, we're 86% the same DNA as a lettuce. So we're all separate. There's no such thing as evolution among species. It's just consciousness. And these avatars or these bodies of these animals, it's just a progression through the levels of awareness. And if you know, if people have the belief that they have evolved from monkeys, this is not true. Monkeys stay monkeys. There's no half monkey man evolving at this present time, which would show you that there was. So it's all about evolution of consciousness. Energy forms within inside an avatar. You may have been a monkey previously. You may have been a butterfly. But right now you're a mankind, and you're only evolving to heightened awareness states.
Yeah, thank you. I was thinking that was probably the reason, some kind of to show who's boss or something like that.
Yeah. They're clever. If they see one monkey eat another monkey, they're going to think that monkey's a bit crazy, and they don't want to mess with him.
So not so far away from us then.
Yeah.
Another kind of subject. I kind of tried to you know, take no thought for my life and get out of my own way. Having very good success with that, I would say. But regarding, should one have a dream, as a goal, which normally would be a materialistic one? So I can't say I have. I'm just taking every day as it is, and not thinking about anything in the future. Some would say that is like a ship without a captain. What's your take on that?
It's relative. I think contemplation and meditation have a role if you're trying to manifest something. To get yourself into a certain space. To contemplate is not to think. So thinkingness just happens, and contemplation is a force of your will to try to, you know, predetermine something and play it out. And in that, it'll bring you to a space of kind of knowing before that situation's arrives, and also project something that you wish maybe to be within future. So it serves you, but the thinking aspect is not necessary. So the goal of life is to be goalless. You know, that's the true goal, is to have no goal and be no goal, and to and just to be. So, you know, if you enjoy, for instance, you know, training, it's just what it is, and you do training, and the results or the things that happen from it is just, again, it's the relative experience through what you're doing has brought this into fruition in this way. So, you know, you're doing everything right. But a goal, I would say, is the expression of what you do. So to do is to be, and to be is to love what you do without that thinking. So if it becomes goal orientated, it can be almost future based. But if it's not, and it's, you know, you have a vision, that vision's fine. And if you want to work until you have that vision, then that vision will come. Yeah.
I'm quite content not doing anything. So I'm doing something, but or I do everything that kind of comes to me as an, you know, an idea or a thought or something that maybe I should call him, you know, things that will kind of make me progress, or you know, my life continue in hopefully the direction it's meant to go. That's kind of what I have come to understand, or think that is, if I get out of my own way, like you always say, and take no thought of my life for my life, that's the, but still acting on the things that come to me, like you need to do this, that will be the fastest way for me to kind of fulfill my or at least go in the direction of my soul's purpose. I don't know if I'm far away from where I should.
No, I'd say that it's naturally, you can see that I feel that this, you know, this has happened at the right time for you. You know, everything that you're going through right now is just the decompartmentalization of the mind. And then you'll put this back together so you are ever present. And it does take time. So there's no rush. You know, you have time. Time is the illusion. And only thinkingness brings you forth to rush, which makes mistakes. And mistakes are my take, more my stake in the game. So you're doing everything right. It's just natural. It's just naturally a part of your progression for you to observe. So if I say, you know, rather than do any thinkingness, just take actions, small actions, and just be in those moments. And every time you do, you free yourself. Every time you take an action, you free yourself. So just keep taking small applied actions each day. And the thoughts that you're having, you know, they've obviously become so much less in a short period of time. Another 6 months, you'll look back and you'll probably be, you know, 99% free from these thoughts. But then you have the capacity to choose. And as long as they don't take any hold over you, you know, you can really interact with life in such a pleasurable way at any given time. That's freedom, you know. If you wish to go further in consciousness, then as these thoughts deplete and you move over to this state of presence, so if I choose to be like an extreme presence, there's a whole vibration that just shifts within the beingness of the body, and you can just do it by just a shift, like a tiny shift, and it just it goes through your system. To be able to just find that switch within your body, within the system, and just to be able to then go into these states of meditation for extended periods of time, that's when you'll find like the God as such, the real energy that keeps everything working and afloat. And solitary, you know, you don't have to be a solitary being as such, but the solitariness finds the nature of your existence quick. If you do ever have the chance, you know, within the next year or 2 years, to have a 10-day period, or even a 5-day period of separation, isolation, meditation, you will find God, you know, you will. But how often do people do that?
No, I've actually thought about that. What's it called again? The name escapes me, but there's a name for the, you know, the 10-day in silence, in solitude, and, you know, alone.
Yeah.
I know there's a place in Sweden which holds these kind of things. You know, you're a group, but you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to look at the other people in the eyes. You know, you're really alone with yourself. So that's something that has, you know, come to my mind on several occasions, and in those instances, I know that's kind of some direction I'm on, or I probably will do that in the future.
5 days is, I think, you know, that is really all that you need to have that true experience. About 5 days, but you can obviously extend it as long as you wish. But when you do fall into these deep states of meditation, you know, time is irrelevant in its capacity, and 11 days feels like 10 minutes once you've gone into this state. So when you're in that state, you know, you can be there for really as long as you wish, or as long as that journey has taken you. And then in that experience, you'll really have these dimensions, you know, brought to you, and atonement, which is that one mind, the universal mind of this consciousness, God. Yeah.
Would you
Sorry, Gary, I was going to say, how often have you ever been told that if you just spend 5 days alone, you'll find God? You know, and that's why we live in a world of busyness, and that's why it's called busyness, because that's all it's doing.
Would you combine something like that with the fast, water fast?
Well, if you were working your way up to it, because you would be dry fasting, because you would be in this meditation, so you wouldn't be consuming anything, you know. You would work, I would say you would work up to it, because it just allows a system to, you know, transition, go for the raw food, go for the juice in, and then maybe like a 2 to 3 day water fast, followed in by this meditation, and you'll get the mind body right, that connection. And then you'll just find the space once you've removed all the fluid from the system. Then you'll be sitting still, and then all of a sudden you'll wake up, and then you'll realize how long has passed. And this happens to many people that have the time to just walk off and go and be on their own. And I recommend it to anyone and everyone, if they can find themselves in a warm space through the summer, when it's ready for them, just to spend as much time as they can in a quiet space with their eyes shut, once going through those steps, because the mind itself cannot be still until you've done those workings. So it's good to just start progressing slowly, start tackling these thoughts, start observing the thoughts, start trying to be in that present state of the observer rather than the identifying person, or the persona that reacts to life rather than is life. That's essential.
Okay, so a dry fast would be the. How long can we actually have a dry fast or extend the dry fast?
Well,
without
you know, yeah, without any sort of worry. You know, I'd say 11-day dry fast is easy to do. 100-day water fast is not a problem, but I recommend 40 days if someone's trying to find a certain clarity or purity, and helping themselves reverse disease. But 100 days, you know, it can be done for quite easily. Dry fast in itself, depending on the breath, you can utilize the energies around you to charge up the system when you're a magnetic being, and in doing so you've connected with that divine nature, so it's slightly different. And then obviously skin tissue repairs and all these things. So the longer you fast, the longer you do your dry fast, the water fasting, the skin tightens, starts to heal at real deep cellular levels. And this is why, you know, it's not published in the modern day world, but you can have yogis for 280 years old that look like a 45-year-old man, because the amount of time they spend in this meditation fasting period. Most people that do have this experience and can reach these heightened levels of perception don't necessarily wish to be here anymore, because they know the nature of the existence here, and they want to transcend their avatar or their physical body to be able to move on with consciousness, because this is just one level of existence here, and it's almost a purgatory level where the duality exists. Once this duality has been mastered and you are the unbreakable as such, you are uncorruptible within your system, then you're ready to move on. We have ties though, We have these realities, we have family, we have these things that we truly perceive are real. And then when you go and cross, you'll see that it was all a figment of your imagination.
Yeah. Well, then I think I'm not going to take any more of your time.
But you're doing amazing, brother. You really are. So just remember that.
Thank you, and I'm so blessed being a part of you know, the X fam. Hello, everybody. I love you all. So I'm blessed to have found you guys. So excited for the way forward, and I'm sure I just know, and I have a feeling that this what we are all going through. This is what I want to bring forward to other people at the later stage when I'm ready.
Yeah, this is what is really essentially for is, this is going to lead on to just expansive awareness, expansion, and a level of mastery within everyone here that can truly go on and help people with great eyes and great perception that has lived through everything that they're teaching. That's true experience. And I'm so grateful for you, brother, and thank you so much for doing what you're doing the work and moving forward and breaking these boundaries, because we're bound in Aries and we must arise.
Great.
Good
okay.
work, brother. Take
Next
care.
guy. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you. I see Bonnie. Sister Bonnie, would you like to come on? Welcome.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Very well.
So I'm doing great. I'm in Mexico with Heidi, and we're having an amazing time. I'm learning so much about these, different plant medicines and medicines, and it was her fault that I'm here. She was said she was coming, and I just was like, all right, I'll cancel my week out and we'll extend our vacation. I extended my vacation, and I came kind of not knowing what I was getting myself into at all. And I've experienced the Bufo. I forget all the initials, MD, whatever but I have had the ego death twice this week.
Wow.
It was very powerful. I it's very hard to explain what I went through. I was almost a little scared, to do it again. Like I felt I guess they say, like, I don't know how long. Actually, I don't know how long it lasts, to be honest with you, because it feels like you're there forever, and so many things pass through your consciousness in such a fast pace, and then all of a sudden, like, everything went completely dark, where I felt like I was being suffocated. Like I thought my head was down in the dirt, and everything went completely. I just closed in on me as tight as possible, as you can imagine, and then all of a sudden I took a breath, and the most beautiful visions I think I've ever seen in my life. The tree colors and the technicolor and the sacred geometry, and everything was so vibrant and beautiful, and a love that I've never experienced before. And the second time it happened, I felt I just started like crying. I felt sad, almost like a mourning of I kept saying, I came to, and I said, is this real? Is this real? Like, I wasn't sure if I was back yet or if I wasn't back yet. And I kept asking, like, is this real? Am I in heaven? Like, I don't know. I wasn't sure. And then I was like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. And it just, this awareness came to me that reality isn't real. And it was so crazy and so powerful. And yeah, so I don't even know. I don't really have any questions. It was just such an intense thing. I actually am leaving. I do have a plane ticket back because I have to start back with my work on Saturday, and I leave on Friday. And I'm just wondering, I'm going to be doing some more medicine here, and we did something else called samadhi, and I also did the kambo, which didn't feel so great, but just a lot of toxins, I guess, and purging. But I guess it's like, how do I? Well, the one thing that was interesting after both experiences where I went so deep and I had that ego death, I felt like I needed soup. Like they were making soup here, and I I was drawn to like that soup, and I know why. I know I was trying to reground myself. You know, I don't know. Not that it's right or wrong. I don't know if it was that I was trying to hold on still to this real, to what I see here as reality. So, but I felt like I needed that soup. You know, I mean, I'm eating, you know, obviously mostly fruits and some salad and the raw foods, and they get fresh orange juice for us every day. But for some reason, both times I needed that weight. It felt like the soup was light. It was a very healthy, if you're going to say healthy soup. Um, but I don't know if that's my way of like sabotaging, just kind of like, no, you don't want to keep going there. And then just, or if it was just something that I felt like I needed. And there was like not really judgment around it. I just kind of intuitively went to it.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'm like wondering for myself is, you know, when I get back to my work, and you know, who am I going to be in that, in those moments? Like, how do I bring what I saw and felt and feel now? Like I'm still vibrating, like I can still feel vibration through my body. I've had some experiences through the night where I felt someone like stroking my hand. Like I had a really bad headache. I went to bed extremely early, probably 7 o'clock last night. And I was just, because the head hurts so bad from, I guess, the Cambo and everything I've been working on, and feel great today. But I felt this like stroke of like this hand, physical hand. And then the night before I felt someone doing Kapal, and I smelled it. I felt the heat of it. I felt the blowing of it. And I actually like looked up to see if Heidi did something, but she was sleeping. So I'm having all these in just kind of interesting experiences. The vibration is, I'm not sure if it's because I'm not caught up to the vibration, or if it's just the experience of it, or if it's the sensitivity. So I don't know if you'd like to speak to any of this rambling I just did. I would appreciate it.
No, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing it with us as well.
Thanks.
That subtle vibration is life force.
Oh.
And when you truly bring yourself to that present moment, you feel your life force. So I'm suggesting that it's possibly your life force that you're feeling, this vibration of life within inside of you. Does it feel nice but subtle?
It's subtle. It
Like
does feel nice.
life.
It does feel nice. Yes, it does feel nice. If
Yeah, so
if I think about it, it almost feels like what's wrong with me. But if I just allow it and just,
yeah.
it does feel nice.
Yeah. So when you attune away from the persona and the identification that gives you this constant noise, taking you from the feeling of that subtlety, the vibration inside of you, you don't feel it. And when you can move away from the distraction of the mind and be present, this vibration is just all over your system. And that's what I was speaking about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes ago, when I said I can just attune myself. And then this whole vibration just floods the body, and it's almost overwhelming. And when you can adjust it and you can play with it, you can increase it in such a way that it's like this orgasm that goes over the whole body at a constant rate, you know, constant. And it's just
Yes.
a tone, a tuning, and yeah, it's incredible.
Yes. And then this is kind of a weird thing that happened as well. Another time after like the time where I had the ego death, I didn't want to do anymore. Like I was like, no, no more. And she kind of insisted. And I did a little bit more. And then that's when I had this, like, it did feel like an inner orgasm of like the entire body. And then I just realized at that moment that was like me loving myself, like me integrating it. It was like the most crazy feeling. It's very hard to explain. I felt like it was a gift that I got to experience. And I'm, you know, with such a high vibration and like internally. And
Yeah.
I've never known that. Heidi's looking at me laughing. Stop it. I snorted, sorry. But yeah,
Good.
so it was just a really powerful, that was a really powerful experience as well. So yeah, I'm feeling all of it right now.
Do you think you can go
Yeah.
back to work again and take that with you? Do you think you can use work now as a spiritual practice rather than have it as a persecution, as a job?
So it's interesting that you say that, because the way I've had my business for 29 years, I do the permanent makeup, and I've always felt like I've had it as a spiritual practice. I feel like when I work with my clients, I feel I don't know, I've always felt like I'm there for them, and almost like life coaching them, like, as they speak, things will come to me, and then I just reflect back to them, and I can just tell what people are going through. Sometimes it's the first step that they've made, maybe after a divorce. So I've always used it as, I feel like I've always done it spiritually. Of course, there's always a few like clients that you're like, oh, you see their name in your book, and you're like, I got a deal. But I know, like, I think now, I guess it's going to go to like a whole nother level, where I'm here to like learn how to facilitate the medicine, but that's not why I came, because I really came because Heidi was coming, and I'm open to like expanding and growing my consciousness any way I can. I don't know that if I feel a calling to serve this medicine. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But I do love, just being of service to people, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. So I do feel like I can bring it back in my work. I think the challenge is going to be when I'm going over to like my daughter's house, and they're, drinking and they're smoking cigarettes, and there's like that more of a chaos, and how I can bring this, who I feel now, into that,
Yeah.
and not allow the vibration to stop. So that's the challenge. The
Yeah.
work part, my work never has felt like work. It's always felt like creation and creativity. So that's my challenge. And so yeah,
You will light
that's
up the room. That's the thing. So I would say the true spiritual practice is allowing no entity to affect the frequency that you're feeling now, this vibration, and then to be able to take those external situations and utilize them as practice. So you go over the
yeah,
house, stay with that present feeling, and someone says something to you and it deflects because someone's trying to pass on their anger to you, and if you take it, you've freed them, and now you have this attachment as such. But if you're able to be strong enough, it just stays with them, and then they can truly learn and their issue. And that's all that people try to do within that egotistical world. So that's what I would say. Just constantly try to remain present. You see yourself getting distracted by thoughts at work because the client's coming in that you don't necessarily want to hear from. Embrace it. If they
yeah,
say things that used to affect you, notice it being deflected, and then
yeah,
put the spin on it. If they talk negative and they say, oh yeah, but my life's like this, but you have a wonderful family and you have this,
yeah.
and
That's what
practice.
that's
Go
what
on.
someone said, is like if we're a mirror to whatever like they're saying. So obviously, if we embrace it, it's our mirror. Like, they're just mirroring what's back at us. So I was told, like, shatter my mirror and just say, I don't see that in you. Like, just
Yeah,
reflect back the God that I see in them, and just,
yeah,
so that's the same advice. So like, that's awesome.
because ego feed ego, you see. So they're
Yeah,
saying because they want to feel comfortable or desensitized to the fact that someone else feels like it. But if you break it, you empower yourself, you free yourself, and then you grow. But they also get that resonance from you.
yeah. Yeah, and I've noticed too, like, I can't even, like, I used to be watching every YouTube video, every Charlie Freak video, every thing about, the world and Donald Trump and the vaccine, and watching on Facebook. I can't even, it's like boring. It's so boring to me. I can't even if I like turn it on for a second, let me just see if there's anything I need to know. And I can't, I just have to turn it right off. Like, not that it's not even like it's not, it seems boring. Like, it just seems so stupid. Like, not stupid, but like, just I'm not interested. It'd be like if I was watching someone build a car. Like if I have no interest in how you build a car, I'm gonna turn
Yeah.
off the video. Not that I don't like driving a car. I just don't really want to watch you build it from scratch. So it's that kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I just have zero interest. So that's a good thing. I know that.
That's
Yeah. So I
that's
do feel
amazing.
I know, like, I feel like what helped me shift too is doing the juice fast, doing the water fast, being a part of this group, being a part of a collective consciousness that's positive, and then coming here. One of the things they said to me is they've never seen someone go through the process so peacefully. I evidently, I don't know because I don't know what I was doing, but I laid there so still. They said they've never, of all the people that have come, they've never seen someone lay that still. In
Wow.
the process. Actually, Heidi, I went first and she got scared. She thought I died and didn't know. She's like, oh my God. She said she was the most scared she's ever been in her life. And she didn't know what she was going to tell my family and what she was going to have to explain. And she got so afraid. And she told me later, I didn't, obviously didn't know. And she said she thought I died. And I said, I don't know. I did, I think. So that was kind of interesting just to
Yeah.
hear the feedback. But yeah, it's I'm ready for more, see where it goes.
Yeah.
But I look forward. I was so excited that you were an early
That's
call.
amazing.
It's 7 o'clock here in the morning for us for the call, and I was like, oh, we have Josh tomorrow morning, and we were up at like 3 in the morning, just giggling, like we were wide awake, and I'm like, we got to go to sleep. We're gonna have to be on Josh's call in the morning. So yes, it's been great. Thank you. I feel like this was the catalyst and the just having this collective family, this collective consciousness, everybody trying to, become a higher version of themselves and just see God in everything, just everywhere. So yeah,
Exactly the way the
thank you.
perception is all key, and you're doing such an amazing job, and I'm so happy that you are embracing everything that you are, because it's all for you.
Yeah. I just have a question about the soup. Like, was that a bad thing? Not that there's good and bad, but was there a reason I chose the soup? Do you think it was just the grounding or
I think the reason you
that
chose the soup was for this particular moment, to not judge it.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
It was, and it's not now, and all there is
Yeah.
here and now, and it's past. So just let it be. It's past has passed, and
Yes.
it's not now. But
Perfect.
on another worldly level, it's fine, and it would have grounded you, brought you back, made you feel more comfortable out of a comfort zone. But it's really that non-judgment energy that you need to be coming from. As you've experienced, nothing is really real.
Yeah.
At the expressive truth about everything. So it's all a play in the mind of consciousness. And welcome to the game.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, have a wonderful day. Stay healthy and happy. And did you say you're going back to America soon?
Yeah, I go back on Friday, and I mean, they're saying I have to have the COVID test in order to get back, and I don't know how to avoid it. The only thing I was thinking is having them put it in my mouth instead of up my nose. I don't know if there's something on the swab. I don't know. I have to work on Saturday, so I'm like, I don't want to be in like Mexican jail. But I don't know. That's the test has me really confused because they're saying you can't board the plane without it. So
if you read the small print, it says unless you're exempt, and there's a few exemptions on there, but I would, if I were you and you don't want to do it, I would just try to get hold of either the consulate or someone in a position of power with the travel. Just send some messages out there or make a few phone calls. Just say it's not something you're willing to do, but you need to get back. Again, at the end of the day, what they'll probably do is just make you go home and do voluntary. I think it's 7 days like voluntary it's so funny because when you read these things, it says you have to go to these other places to get a doctor to do it for you, but in these exceptions that you can self-test yourself and you can look after yourself because you're actually in the awareness that you can look after yourself. So I just fire a few messages or a few phone calls out there because
do you want me to help?
Yes, I would love that.
Hi, everyone. I'm back in Mexico too. I'm following, I don't know what. I'm following my non-logical, my non-coordinated brain and just going with what I need to do for my growth. And I'm back in Mexico again. But I didn't want to come because of the COVID test going back. So what we're doing is flying through Tijuana instead of back through Mexico City. If you don't fly back to the States, you can walk across the border and they don't require a test. So I've rearranged my plans. I do live in Buffalo and I got to fly across the country, but we're going to cross at Tijuana. So you just rearrange your flight so that you fly just to a border that you can cross by walking, and then we're never going to have to take a test. I will not put that swab up my nose. I will not let them put any nanoparticles anywhere near my body. So we're just going to walk across the border. We've had several people from our group already do it, and then you just fly from San Diego to wherever you need to go. So you just rearrange your flight before the weekend.
Yeah.
And that way you
Wow.
don't have to there's a bunch of us who are fully awake and came down here to be together, but they already figured out how to go back. So I trusted them and came down, and it's just a couple of phone calls to change your flight. And then you just can walk across the border.
Okay. I would have packed a
And
little
I've
lighter,
noticed
but
that
okay.
these sides as
Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
yeah, I've noticed that these sides when you cross any border, if you're driving there. Sorry. Well, thank you for that, sister, and I hope that helps. And if you do need any pointings at all for anybody to contact, just drop me a message, and I'll try and find some numbers for you, departments
Thank you.
and things like that. All right. Thank you for your experiences. We love you. Take care and have a wonderful day ahead of you. Have a good day to you both. Right, I can see.
Can I talk?
Yes, Lord. Come back on. Welcome,
Just had
sister. Love to see you.
I just have I love your words, as I've told you before, and I'm working a lot with that as my experience right now, because I've been a writer and I'm very expressive, but I didn't realize the impact of every word we use. And so it's very exciting for me. And I really caught on when you said busyness today, because I'm having a little bit of, when I'm here and I've had some experiences where I'm actually visualizing the fabric of the matrix, and I can see the vibrations of creation and sort of experience myself as energy rather than form. And I don't understand what's happening, but it's happening, so I'm going with it. And I also am thinking of living down here for a while and creating some type of a love center, something reflecting me, which is totally different from what I used to do. And I'm having some resistance from everyone who knew the labeled person that was a lawyer and all kinds of things back a year ago, especially my family. And they think that I've lost my mind, and they, which I hopefully have, and they think that I need to be getting a job again. Like, what are you going to do? And it's very important for them that I have another label, like that I'm a writer or that I'm something. And I'm having all these new friends come around. I keep making animal friends these days. But I don't really feel pressure,
The best friend.
except when I talk to them. But I can't just eliminate everyone from my life. And I love them back, and I tell them not to worry about me. And I'm just a baby in the family. I'm 57. I don't know if I'm ever going to be allowed to be an adult in my family. But I don't feel like I need to explain myself. I'm still learning who I am. And that's such a wonderful gift. And to be free right now while the world's falling apart. but I need a little
That's
advice on
definitely the key.
how not to feel the pressure of trying to be something that is approved on the outside.
Unless they're here and now, they've just left an imprint in the judgment that they've had on the ego. And it makes us feel heavy. It makes us feel like we need to make things clear. But if you again try to go back to that space of energy that you're beginning to see and feel, and you realize that all they're trying to do is push their energy onto you, and it's a negative energy field. And if they have these issues inside, it's just their issues for their karma and for their actions to be able to overcome. So if I was to advise you, I would just say, don't let it affect you after the moment has happened as such. And in the moment, just remember that they're energy fields, and all they're doing is expressing themselves. So deal with energy as you wish it to be. So just keep it positive, and I understand what you're saying, and yeah, it makes such good sense. I appreciate what you're doing for me. It's just my journey right now, and I'm going through this, and who knows what the future holds. But today I'm here, and you're there. I miss you. I love you. And just deal with them, and you'll try to see, if you always try to throw something in, which would be kind of the ego trying to show us that we know better than them, which is not needed. It's just surrender. Yeah. And then we just see this whole alignment happen with this shift of energy, because it's not happening now. Nothing, it doesn't happen. And in that present moment, if you're just that positive energy, you just light up the room for everyone.
Okay, I could do that. Thank you, Josh. God bless you all.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I feel, yeah, you definitely have the capacity. Is radiating from you, and I know that we just want our families to be happy, but just remember that half of our tasks are actually to overcome these families and to empower ourselves with truth. Because even though it's a small, subtle thing that we may not see, the ego does lie, but it only lies to please other people. And that lying, the true nature of the other energy knows, and it just feeds lies into a system of egoic minds that needs to be freed. And by your freeing it, only frees someone else. So just maintain your strength, sister. You're on a journey, and it's exactly where you need to be. And I would say to be where you are right now is the best place. You got the food around you. If anything ever happens, you know that you can survive, you can eat. You're in the best place to thrive. And to start something like a healing center for people, whether it's mind, body, soul connection, or all three, you couldn't do anything better for anyone. So
Yeah,
thank you
it's
for
very
your love and
exciting.
service as well.
It's exciting for creating, and finally,
Yeah.
it's a weird timing, but many of us are just coming into who we always came here to be, right? It's kind of nice when you're gentle on yourself. It's hard not to keep being that people pleaser that we were in our busyness, and it's so new, so it's hard to stay in that vibration. But your encouragement and groups like this really keep your fuel going and our heart open. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here for me.
Oh, sister, we love you very much. And just keep practicing the presence, and then you'll find this space day in, day out. And it's just a matter of time for everyone. So it's just lovely to hear your journey and to know that you're in this space now. Another being has found something special, which is wonderful. Have a wonderful day, sister. Thanks for coming on. It's good to see you. And the cat. Is there anyone that would like to have Aaron? I can see brother Aaron, welcome. How are you today?
Hey, brother Josh. Doing awesome again today. Just enjoying everybody's story, especially the ones in Mexico. Getting me to think that I need to be in warmer conditions again. I was there a few months ago before we started the fast, in preparations for the fast, and I really do resonate with the energy that you could get there. I didn't do any plant medicine or anything. I just, I guess I did. I stayed 100% raw. That was part of my journey to get away from the food, is kind of to separate everything and went down there for a little bit, met Santos, and had some really good times in some ancient ruins and stuff. So so it's nice hearing everybody's connecting in that energy out there, because it is a beautiful, loving energy once you get to that space.
Wonderful, brother. It's such an area that I think we're all going to find ourselves to over the period of the next coming few years. I think the equatorial regions, where all the history is really, there's no real history outside of those realms or those lines. It's just mainly church history.
Most definitely, yeah. And I feel my journey is steering me back into the freedom that we all are searching for. Just continuing to do the work every day, staying in the now, staying in that life force energy that you speak of. Now that I hearing the words that you speak of, now I have way to articulate my feelings, because that life energy is, it's interesting how you speak of it. It's been able to bounce in and out of it. And I never knew what it was, other than that was more of a peace place that I could always escape and not have to deal with the worries of what was going around me. I just called it my coping mechanism. But it is that life force energy that it does overwhelm me. It's a very gentle, loving feeling that I've always been able to go from my problems or what reality was serving me to a space that allowed me to get through that day or time period or event that was happening. So it's a beautiful space listening to this.
How's things moving forward in the day-to-day life? Is everything going well?
I am going perfectly well. Definitely the journey is could be intense outside. There's a lot of other factors that are going down, my work, house, family, every little bit of it is it a beautiful place. I'm finding my love energy, and I see where the ego is dying as I'm getting to that point where it's close to being gone. I could see where the peace is being brought into the people around me, where before my ego fed it, and it kind of just caused discomfort for everybody. But the work that I'm doing is allowing me to go through my journey, the things that I didn't really think that I could overcome. I just stepped away from ownership of my parents' business a couple of days ago. So right now I'm no longer employed, but I'm good. I'm set for what I need to do. It's just that step of commitment, of knowing that just stepping away from everything. So big steps I'm pushing myself through. Sorry, I heard you go.
Take the faith at this time and let life lead you. If you're in a position of freedom from employment, the only thing that gets one in trouble is the employment, and that's the registration of your name with this system, and to be not employed. It's probably one of the best things for you. And then trust life. Life's led you to this particular point of freedom, giving you a chance to actually see that once you surrender to the creative force of existence, you'll be taken care of in any way, shape, or form. And I think it's that time for you, brother. I think you need to just go with life wherever you feel called, and move and flow like water does, and just encapsulate this new energy that is being presented to you. And that way you learn life, and you see that it really truly does take care of the ones that actually let go and need it. It's key.
That's beautiful. Something that I've known coming through this journey, or a voice that told me everything was going to be okay, but now actually trusting it and putting it in action. The conviction that I have with this journey that we're going on is like none other. I mean, you speak of it, John, Brother John speaks of it, Charlie, everybody that we get, once we get to this point, the straight and narrow, you can't turn around. It's too narrow, too straight. There's not enough room. I'm definitely at that point where there is no turning around, and flowing with the now.
Just keep going into your mind, brother. Just take the deepest, darkest aspects of it, all the programming, just put it apart. Recognize everything that's been going on previously to you. Stay on top of it. That's the true spiritual work. Keep removing the thinkingness, the thoughts. Someone who is of a spiritual nature is somebody that has no thinkingness. And as far as you wish to take your experience here, it's down to you. There's limitless capabilities, and again, there's capabilities that are capped abilities from the by-light, which is the two lights, which we need to turn on to be these magnetic beings that we should have always been, but we needed to experience this duality here for this expressive fast growth that we've had here within a short period of time for awareness. And it is a great gift, every moment that we have as experience. And when we come back to that space of remembering that just to be able to experience something is such a blessing, it's such a gift, and it's something that we should all, give to the divine creative force, life, God, however anybody wants to label something. The isness, the I, the yes, the consciousness sine wave. And we should all remember that, to be grateful to this fact of existence, to be able to experience. It's wonderful.
Yeah, definitely staying in the present, or staying in the now is the present that we get. The reward is definitely in the work.
Yeah.
Every moment that I'm here, it's just a blessing, and I'm valuing, just everything, which has given me more visions and more aspirations to do things, which is not the thinking, but the contemplating and just going through things. And traveling has been definitely forefront with that. So I'll probably be looking to travel, and I know they say it's hard now, but
everything
traveling.
possible. Everything is possible. Break the boundaries, be the one that shows people that you can. And in that way you prove to yourself, and you can, people that may believe you still believe you because it's not done through themselves, but you're going to empower some people along the way. And, if you turn up to an airport without a COVID test, what's the worst thing that can happen? They turn you around and you've learned something. But I'm sure there's, different steps of going through these processes without it. And it's just by empowering yourself. It's your belief, it's your religion, it's whatever you are inside of you that's not going to allow someone to stick something up your nose or do any of these things. It's just a protocol. And there are other protocols if those protocols are not met. And I feel they're not advertised. But when you do these things and you remain strong, there are systems put in place. So never worry, just go through the realm. Remember, have your faith in who you are and the connectivity to the divine, and just be rewarded to you in every single step. You have more growth and more awareness.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Definitely. Yeah, my birthday is 3 days away, and I want to go lay in the ocean and be with the mother and father and son and everything. And so I'll be working on a plan to start doing that in the next little bit. So I don't know if it's Mexico or somewhere else. Mexico seems like an easy place to go. It's attached to land, but other places seem kind of fun because I might have some time to maybe go look for some land and continue this journey of community, because it is like-minded minds that are going to get us to this place. And
exactly. And remember, you have 300, 400 people behind you that are here to help you in any way all over the world. So if you ever need anything, you just reach out to our family and we're all here to help.
Most definitely. Yeah. Once I figure out where I'm going, I'll let everybody know, and hopefully run into some of you, everybody with lovely spirits and energy out there.
Lovely to see you again, brother.
Lovely to be here. Again, thanks for everything and everybody's journey, expressing them, coming out here, being brave, talking about oneself. It's a great growth for our unity consciousness. I see everybody's energy come up. It's been a long time. I think Brother Josh feels it as well as everybody else. Our consciousness is getting at such a heightened level at this point. It's beautiful sharing and hearing. So love you all.
Good work. Good work, brother. Thank you so much for being here with us, and have a great day, and let us know what you choose to do, and we'll be here to see the journey and to be there with you along the way.
Thank you. Lovely.
Right. I have 4% battery and it's not charging. I did see Calvin with the hand up. Brother Calvin, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can very well, brother. Welcome. Lovely to see and hear you.
Thank you. I have kind of a, this might be sort of an unholistic question, but I figure I'll start off rather than tell you my whole life story. I just was wondering if you had any thoughts on cataracts.
How to sort of heal the cataracts, or
yeah.
Have you tried castor oil at all on your journey of healing your cataracts?
You know, I have a little bit, but not consistently enough to see results. It's for me, it's a little bit difficult to get like in the eye, but honestly, no, I have not put a whole lot of effort into. I would think you would have to do it consistently for, a couple of months. I certainly have not done that yet.
Okay. So for one, obviously, we have to give the body the environment it can to heal itself. So we're going to have to put in the real living foods, the live foods. Doing the fasting to reduce fasting is going to allow our body to uptake more minerals to give us this alkalinity balance that no single cell pathogen will be able to survive in, let alone thrive in. And then I would say, if you can use castor oil in the eye drops 3 to 4 times a day, I would say it probably take between 6 and 8 weeks. If you got yourself to this whole food plant-based diet and you were having predominantly raw with juices incorporated through the days, and then if you were able to get your hands on any cannabis oil, this is going to help connect the neurons and balance our full systems within our body, whether it's the endocrine system, the immune system, the respiratory system. All of these things are balanced. The 12 systems of our body by the endocannabinoid system. This is going to allow a heightened, faster healing time, and put you in that space to allow your body to do what it needs to do with the highest help from you. But I definitely do recommend castor oil. It can make a significant difference just on its own, let alone without changing the diet to allow the body to do what it needs to do. But all your body wants to do is heal. And you must know that it needs to put itself back within the resonant capacity of the whole system, because your body is just there as a set vibration. So the body wants to vibrate to be whole, and that's what keeps this whole system working, is this one resonance. And when something's out of alignment within that resonance, all it wants to do is put it back to the format. But if it hasn't, oh, my phone's about to shut down. If it doesn't, then it won't find itself reconnecting when it truly wants to. My phone is about to shut down and the charger's not charging, and I hope this comes out. So I will say to everybody, I love you all so very much. Stay strong, stay happy. I look forward to what we're bringing this month with everyone, to bring a bit more perception to how interactions work with this electromagnetic world that we live in, and have a strong
Love you all.
Love everybody. You guys have a good one.
Well.
Bye, everybody. This is from
Bye.
Bonnie and Heidi.
Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Love and light, everyone.
Love you all. Bye.
See you all in Mexico.
Take care.
Yeah, see y'all in Mexico.
Definitely Mexico.
Hola, Mexico.
Hope to see y'all in
Bye.
Mexico.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's so cute.
They're my peeps, Brayden. They're my peeps. I'm still recording too.